We were interested in exploring the idea that waste products can be kind of endlessly recycled.
We were thinking about waste and byproduct waste as concepts that emerge through the timeline of global capitalism.
Our project is called Elaborating Waste. The kind of belief that modern capitalism seems to rely on is this idea that the things we've used up, the leftovers or the byproducts of what we've already used, can somehow be re-understood as not yet used. We had this idea to begin with that we would go out and we would find specimens of waste that somehow kind of dramatized the problem we were interested in. We realized that we wanted to kind of ground it more locally in Chicago, and so we started going on a series of field trips around Chicago to sites that we associated with waste, and specifically the reuse of waste.
We documented our site visits, but we were still sort of thinking primarily in terms of collecting specimens. In the history of anthropology, the specimen is like a particularly fraught figure, and this was interesting to us, that it was something that at one point was emblematic of the abundance over which there was colonial control, and then at another point, more recently, becomes emblematic of scarcity. We kind of wanted to keep going on site visits, and then all of a sudden, sort of like the sites themselves became more interesting to us.
We've ended up kind of focusing on one primary site, the Stickney Water Reclamation Plant. It's a wastewater treatment center, but the word waste does not actually appear kind of on any of the signage as you're entering the site. They want to keep the word waste out of it. So it's all about what kinds of resources can be recovered or reclaimed.
And what sorts of products can be made. In the process of cleaning this water, they also produce a variety of other things, including this fertilizer. So this is produced on a industrial scale and then is resold to industrial agricultural operations.
This is water that we actually collected from the sanitary canal. Part of the materials that are removed from the water are what goes into generating this fertilizer. So they're taking a byproduct of the water reclamation process and turning it into another usable product that can be sold. The final presentation is something based on the work we were doing at Stickney and thinking about kind of the water cycle.
We wanted to show some kind of correlation between the amount of water flowing through the water reclamation plant and the amount of this fertilizer product that is produced each day. One of the things that we wanted to do in this exhibit is throw into question what is a product and what is a byproduct. In this system of producing clean water and producing a byproduct that is also valuable, a lot of things are unaccounted for.
We're going to be getting a chance to look at the water from the sanitary canal to see what kinds of microparticles, plastics are in this water, and we're also going to be picking out certain pharmaceuticals to have the water tested to see what quantities of opioids or hormonal medications are in the water. By pointing out the things that the water reclamation plant misses about the materials that it puts back into the world, we want to kind of bring into view the things that are not addressed by systems that think primarily in terms of the kind of endless recyclability of waste. It's been really cool to have the opportunity to kind of think again in ways that we don't normally get to think about in the very narrow sort of field-specific ways that we do within our disciplines.
We were able to describe a problem that we wanted to address and explore, and we didn't necessarily have to work within disciplinary frames in order to set about finding a methodology to interrogate this problem.
Speaking with a chemist or speaking with a visual artist or a sculptor has gotten us to think with materials in a way that we just don't usually get to do in our own research. And I think it's allowed us to see things that we hadn't seen before.